Hey guys, Supergirl American back. I'm Aaron.
I'm Melanie.
And we're back with Supergirl.
Finally! It's been so long.
Well, yes, everything's been on break. Last time on Supergirl, we had the other, planet asteroid place.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Her home with her mom, right?
Astra?
No.
Right?
Her mom. Her mom was Lois Lane. Her mom, Astra, isn't her mom, right? Isn't that her aunt?
Yeah, you're right.
Astra?
You're right. There was some woman named Astra
they just
in the
called her
show.
Mom.
She wasn't there, though.
There was her mom and Mon-El came back, and then they did their time travel stuff, and then they went back to the future, and then
With Brainy.
yeah, and then Mon-El had stayed to see where he thought he belonged and stuff. That was going on. We also had the whole Rain storyline with Ruby and trying to save her from being evil, which I think it turned out okay. We all did that.
Yeah, I think it had a nice ending. I think that's done with. I feel like we can move on from that.
Do you think she's gonna have powers and being I'm a superhero good guy?
I don't think in this season.
So that was going on with that, and then we had the whole there's a Supergirl up here in the snow kind of thing going on.
Kind of random.
Yeah, and then last year I remember some people were talking about Red Sun or something like that, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't know what that is, and I was misspelling sun. I had a U in it instead of an O in it or something like that. So now I know what story they're talking about, and I realized it a few weeks later. We were reacting to something entirely different. It might have been during a mailbag, and someone said something, and I said, "Oh!" And then Eric immediately knew what I was realizing. He goes, "You get it now, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I can't believe I didn't think about what it was. So I get it now. I don't know if we're gonna go for that storyline.
I don't know, and I don't know too much about that storyline, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean the basis of it is just if Superman lands somewhere else. Is the basis of how it all begins with that. So we'll have to just see what happens with that. I think we might have had a poll at the end of last season, but it's really far back, and I'm not going to scroll through Patreon to try to find it. So we'll have new polls at the end of this season, as well as having Q&As with hashtag SupergirlQNA, so you guys can leave your questions and thoughts, and we will talk about those at the end of the episode. Also, we have our Patreon bonuses with our poll and our full length. Ooh. And for the very first episode, which is this one of the season, anybody can see our full length for this episode, whether you're a patron or not. Just check the description for the link down below. So, now with all that out of the way, we're gonna get started and watch some Supergirl. Hit the button.
Some might call it super. For the first time in my life, I've got everything under control.
Good. I say
Something bad's gonna happen.
She actually looks like she's balancing everything fairly well.
Yeah, she doesn't seem as ditzy as usual, so it's awesome. I like it.
Okay.
Director Danvers, President Marsden is arriving for her yearly visit.
When?
Right now.
Madam President.
John Jones made a very wise choice when he chose you as his successor.
No.
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
I have missed you.
Me too.
Ooh.
And there's still that thing between her and the Supergirl and her and the Kara and all that.
James, I'm
just let me live in this moment for a little bit, and then.
What do you think?
But the only thing that I need right now is you by my side.
Hi, my name's Kisuke and I'm Aquarian.
I get better
Hi,
than Kara.
Kisuke.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome.
Hey.
I'm Fiona. What brings you to our group today?
Can I help you?
That guy's
On the
gun.
hunt.
Gotta cut off his tusks. Oh no.
Ooh.
Damn, they just kicked her. Fly. Okay. Break it out.
Disoriented.
Break out.
Flying and.
Oh, wait.
Like Supergirl just cratered at Bo's laboratory?
I'll assemble a strike team.
There's no time. Long live the Legion!
Brainy!
Got it.
What is it? Who are you? Who is he?
I don't know. We don't know anything, Aaron.
Uh-oh. Bomb. The strong cape. The super cape. I don't know how that cape works.
sorry. Hold the elevators.
Hey, the new
Hold the
car.
elevators.
This is like car, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. You're a reporter. You don't have to give me coffee. Oh, I know. But Miss Grant mentioned you like lattes, so I thought I'd pick one up. She said you were particular about the temperature, so I had it all perfectly planned out. But then I
Is she going to be a new cat?
And it's probably too cold by now. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. You're me.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. It's only this time the paramedics won't be there to resuscitate you.
Buzzkill.
Siblings.
I see the good doctor was amenable.
Those took some convincing, but yes.
And then Supergirl showed up.
And the EMP.
As a person, look at the suit of armor.
Miss Danvers?
Mannequin.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the mouth didn't move.
You
right?
wanted to see me?
However, I was able to identify an ex-employer who might be able to help you with an address.
Who's that?
Miss Luther, you have a visitor.
Oh, Luther. Oh, Luther.
I made a vow to live a peaceful life. Stand up for people in a different way. Get down!
Die roaches.
This was an explosion outside of a bar. I don't think there's any reason to believe they're related.
I wouldn't dismiss the possibility. I've been trying to tell you, the climate towards aliens is changing.
Yeah, yes, I agree. It is, but for the better. And yes, there will always be extremists, like whoever attacked the bar, but
Most aliens do not share that privilege. I'm afraid your experiences are not the best barometer here.
I'm embraced as a hero because I'm good at my job. I really don't appreciate you questioning my judgment.
I'm just trying to offer you a different perspective.
John, you left the DEO, so maybe now it's time you leave protecting the city to me.
What is her deal?
Yeah. All I know is I hate his new point of view. It just feels so ominous.
Well, Jean is not an alarmist, Kara. I mean, if he's trying to tell you something, I would listen. What are you so afraid of?
I'm not afraid of anything.
It made me sad when the two of you became enemies. If I were still vengeful, I'd blame Superman for tearing this family apart. Okay, I'm still vengeful.
I don't know if it was all Superman.
I guess it's time I educated you.
Oh.
Hi, Sam. That's a smart angle on the homeless
That
crisis.
name drop could be the
It's all
villain
yours.
that we had a minute ago.
I don't know. That's why I wrote it
All right,
down.
anybody else want to take a crack at fashion?
FYI, my mother went to college with Adrian Tyler, the most famous living American designer, so I have access to almost anyone in this field for interviews. On the record.
Nice.
Hard
Okay, anybody else
competition.
want to take a crack at fashion?
Come on, say it. Say it.
Going once, going twice.
Say it.
Mackenzie, all yours.
No backbone, just like
She
Kara.
is Kara, yeah.
No backbone.
Would you believe it's an abandoned warehouse?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Surprise. Careful, could be a trap. We're walking into a trap.
That weapon you sold me, it barely burned through the Corian.
Who is this?
What do you mean? It's Karen. Mom, Ted won't let me use the computer. I gotta go.
Brady. They're going to attack the President's Alien Summit.
Oh. EMP. It's gonna be used for that.
You were right about the crimes. They were motivated by hate, and there's a web of people.
Look at
I'll let you know
yeah.
what's happening.
It's like his
You can
dad.
fight it, Kara.
I need your
Wow,
help.
Dad. Look at that.
They're going to attack the Alien Summit. Help me keep it safe. Alex, it's the EMP.
Alright, there's the EMP. Oh, the helicopter.
Oh, okay. That's how it's so high.
Oh, and the reverse EMP, huh?
It worked.
Oh, her little maggot thing.
I love her weapons.
Well, Alex, we just saw you fighting earlier.
Yeah, but this girl's pretty good too.
No.
Oh, why did you have to be a good catch?
Oh, that's I like it.
You'll be fine, ma'am.
There's still another Graves. Make sure he's not the driver. Look out, look out, look out!
Not the president!
Oh, the president took his shots to save her service member.
Are you all right? I'm fine. Just get them.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
She's an alien.
I know. But how did that not hurt her?
She's an alien.
I know.
Woman. What?
She shot her own brother?
She's gonna save him. Why's he got a squirt gun?
He's trying to twirl
Where
it.
did you get all that stuff?
The comic book store on Excelsior.
Excelsior.
Down the street from Wynn's old apartment. And that cardigan. Wynn has the same one.
Is he living at Wynn's?
All right, yes.
He's trying to
See, I
be
analyzed our
Wynn.
recent torrent of conflicts, and I couldn't find a common factor. I did things your way, wrong. That I can do. I've been told I have excellent rhythm. Just let me... All right.
Just no more
Just
sweaters. Okay.
Thank God. These things are restrictively tight.
She will soon.
No.
And your other investigation. Guardian who?
Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
but it doesn't push what he's wanting to push.
What happened?
I know. She's evil.
Mackenzie pitched her take on the article, and she had a good approach.
So, you're afraid to make waves? Okay. Make them anyway. Make a tsunami.
You realize you're turning into Cat, right?
What?
No. No, to a T. It's kind of freaking me out. You just said TikTok. You remember you said chop chop?
Called it at the beginning.
You did.
Breaking news. We will continue to follow this breaking story. Of course, James Olsen is still known as the Guardian.
Told you there's nothing to worry about.
Will she tell him?
No.
So happy, James.
Me too.
We will not be indicting James Olsen for past allegations of obstruction. However, if Mr. Olsen were to resume his role as Guardian, he will be subject to immediate arrest.
Majority. How do you respond?
Oh.
We now take you to late-breaking news story. Shocking footage acquired of the assassination attempt at Camp David has revealed that the president is an alien. This confirms what many thought to be the ravings of a fringe group.
I love my country.
All right, so let's see this guy.
Does he take his mask off?
I didn't ask for you to come here. You brought this on yourself.
Who are you?
He just...
An agent of liberty.
Betraying the...
Oh, Kaznia, Russia.
Yeah.
She caused it. She caused the earthquake.
That's Kara, right?
This is the other Kara. All right, so Supergirl episode 1.
It had a whole different feel to it.
Did it have a different feel? What do you think?
I don't know. I just... Like, I don't know if it's the writing, how it was set up, but it just felt like a whole new show. Like not that they're starting from scratch, because it's all the same storyline and everything. It just felt smoother.
Okay.
I liked it. I loved this episode. I loved it. I loved seeing Kara, new Kara, brand new Kara.
Brand new Kara. Well, I mean, I like that she has things like she's like, oh, things are like working out, things are going well. Like she has like Kara. Like, do you mean Kara? Or you mean Kara Supergirl Kara? Or do you mean like, what do you mean Kara?
I mean Kara, but
like
Supergirl
Kara.
Also. I mean, they both have developed and grown and become these amazing women. Woman, I don't know.
Well, I mean, she's busy. There's Superman who's off-world, so he's not gonna be around to help.
He's in Argo.
He's at Argo, which was that planet asteroid thing,
Yeah.
right? That the all the other Kryptonians were at. So it makes sense that he would have went there to see his family stuff.
Yeah,
and all
I
that,
think that would be cool to kind of see some storyline with that.
I think it was a fairly decent like premiere. I had Linda Carter in here to be the president again.
Yeah.
Which I think was a good little extra special guest to have.
I don't think we saw her at all last season, right? It was the season before.
Season before, maybe? Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Because we were in our basement.
I think the last time we saw her was her and like Cat Grant were playing together and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, randomly inside the bar.
I don't remember her since then. And then like Cat knew that she was an alien.
Yeah.
So like people have known. So I thought that whenever she pushed someone out of the way, it was gonna be like, oh, she's an alien. Did someone see this, or is this gonna come to light? Which it did.
It did.
So what does that mean for the anti-alien people when you have a president? Now, if the president's human, working on reaching out for alien diplomacy, might be different than if the president's an alien that no one knew about reaching out for alien diplomacy.
Yeah, because it looks extremely biased now.
So I'm probably not gonna go well.
But at the same time, you have to think about it. The people put in the popular vote to get her voted into office.
Yeah, but if she was lying about who she is, what else has she lied about, kind of thing?
That's true, but the fact that they've liked her enough to put her in office is kind of fighting for her in this case, and they will probably use that as that side of the argument.
And also, I mean, if they go with like electoral college and everything, it could also have been not the majority of the people wanted her, but she still won. All right, so
but let's go back to Kara. Don't change it yet.
Well, I was gonna get to Kara.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna get to her. I was gonna talk about James.
James and Lena, I so ship them. I love them together. Oh, I love them together.
Well, good. James still working at Catco, CEO of that. Also, though, going over with the Guardian indictment that we had from last season when he outed himself as being the Guardian.
Yeah.
But now Lena stepped in to help.
Yeah.
Which she did. He's not going to be indicted anymore.
No.
But now he can't be the Guardian without being arrested.
Like, he's not the one that smoothed things over. It was totally Lena. Lena, like, making deals. And, like, I like that she was reaching out and trying to help, because that's how she grew up. Is that the only way that she can help is by doing bad things?
I mean, it's not even that. The thing I like about it, because I don't like it, because I wish that she would have let James do it and see how it would have came out. The thing I like, though, is like her talk about, like, I've had so many people go to jail, I've lost so much family and whatnot, I didn't want to lose someone else. So I'm like, okay, I get you with that, but I still wish that she would have let it go, because what would have happened if he was indicted and there was actual a court case with a jury talking about this person, and what would have happened then? And would they have found him not guilty, and would he have been more free to do what he wanted to or anything?
Well, I think they would have found him guilty, but...
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. What matters is how they would have seen him as a person. And they still could have found him not guilty, or the indictment... Maybe not even not guilty, because indictment doesn't necessarily mean... I don't know what I'm trying to say, but the idea that I'm trying to say, like, if she'd let it go, could the outcome have come out better?
Oh, I think
James's
for sure.
favor.
And he'd still be able to run as Guardian.
Than her working with the deals that she made.
Yeah, the outcome would have been better by far. But I think with this little act, we saw the true Luther in her. And it really brought that out. And I think that's why whenever Lillian saw the news, she gave that little smirk, like, yeah, she's still my daughter.
Yeah.
That kind of stinks, but I'm really proud of her. She's a true Luther.
It's a Luther move. I mean, she's doing some good things, but she also, like, she talked about the image inducer that she made. It's like that thing that made the guy turn alien human thing. She made that, but she said that it's using that to make money to fund her other things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what else is she working on that she's doing?
Exactly.
We've had like a mix of like, oh, Lena's good. Oh, wait, look at this dark side of Lena. What's she doing? Oh,
she
Lena's
still
good.
has
oh,
all that kryptonite. So she could still be synthesizing all the kryptonite and doing stuff with that. But I don't know. I think we'll definitely be seeing a lot more of that this season. Yeah. But she's still my favorite actress. I love her so much. Anyway, sorry. Back.
How about DEO? No John at the DEO now.
no Win at the DEO.
No Win. Win has left. He went to the future, if I recall, which also was a way, I believe, of him leaving the show, because he's done with the show. So it's a little weird without Win, but I also didn't notice it as much, but there were times that I did notice it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. And I do like the comparison of what I'm feeling is exactly what Alex is going through. Mm-hmm. So I felt the same thing. Like, I miss my Win. Win was my favorite. He always came up with the coolest things. Win was the one that came up with Alex's suit.
The suits and stuff.
All the suits.
Guardians and Monels and all that, right?
He was like the Cisco of the area. Yeah. And I love that. I love Cisco.
I mean, there's nothing to say that he can't show up as a guest star here and there or anything.
Yeah,
so
I mean, same thing with all the rest of the game.
I'm hoping something like that might happen.
Yeah.
But it's a thing that I noticed no Win, but then it's also a thing that I didn't notice too terribly that there was no Win. You know what I mean? So it kind of fit okay.
Yeah, I get you.
I did notice more so, like, Jean. It's weird not having Jean at the DEO, I think. Like that, it is different enough for me because I like Jean. Like Jean has this, I like his character arc, I guess, of like his father's past. You know, he had this thing that he told him, and he wants to do more peace type things, so he can't do that holding a sword, so he can't run the DEO to do it, and all this stuff. But I want some Martian Manhunter, you know. Like he was a cool character. I felt like they didn't get to use him, or they could have used him, but they didn't use him as much as they could have in the past because it's Supergirl show. It's not Martian Manhunter and Supergirl show, so...
I think we'll be seeing him, though. I don't think that we are completely done with Martian Manhunter. I think he might be forced out of his shell towards the end of this, but he would still try to withhold the peace, you know?
I mean, right now he's busy with the anti-alien thing, so I get what he means. Like, you can't... If you fight the hate by, like, fighting it head-on with hate... Like, if you can, you gotta try to find that peace.
You get war.
You gotta promote the peace and everything. So, what was the one thing that was said? Those who want peace prepare for war. Was that the bad guy? I think that's what he said.
Oh yeah, something like that.
So I don't know. But
the
no,
masked guy.
Yeah, that golden mask kind of guy. That mask looks so familiar. I don't know what it's from. I don't know why, but.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just, like, I feel like it's right there. And I don't think it's from Young Justice. I think I saw it in, like, Justice League or something.
Yeah, I don't remember it in Young Justice. What do you think of the Graves? Otis and Mercy? Do you think they're, like, Otis has been captured. I don't know if they're going to be, like, reoccurring things. Like, if Otis is done, if Mercy's going to be a thing. I don't know. I feel like they're going to be reoccurring characters the way they were kind of set up in this.
Maybe not reoccurring throughout the season, but probably for this tiny story arc of the battle. We'll see them next episode. But I don't... They're cruel. And she's ruthless. Like, she shot her own brother. Like, fortunately, she took a while to aim and got a good shot on him.
See, the thing I'm worried about with that is that they had like planned, it seemed, to set this up so that they brought the president out. They could shoot the president, right? So why did she shoot him? They shot him knowing Supergirl would save him and take him into custody. Mm-hmm. What does that give them? What is their next plan? I feel like there's more to it. You know, it wasn't just like, well, bye. Because even he was like, you think my sister would kill me? So like he looked like he was like, yeah, gotcha. But I'm like, what is the next step in their plan? I feel like there's got to be something.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I don't know. I felt like they needed at least one of them to get away. And that if they kept going on the path that they were, that they both were going to get captured. Like Supergirl would shoot down a tree or something. But instead, he was the distraction, and she had to go save him, and Mercy got away.
So it's just coincidence? There's no reason for it? Because everything they did, when they went in for the doctor, they cut off his things, they had everything ready to be able to take out Supergirl and be able to leave. Then they had the other one where they had the EMP then, and they got the costumes, they came in, they fought, they distracted, had him in position ready to shoot the president once they moved her to the car that they wanted to go to. Like, everything they have has been planned.
Very well.
Why would this not be planned? I feel like there's something they're going to do with the DEO or something.
You could be right. I don't know, unless he has, like, a tracker so that they know exactly where the DEO is. But I'm pretty sure everyone knows where the DEO is by this point. But following up with the hate crime stuff and the alien outage and everything, I was just so surprised, like, by how much hate towards the aliens. Like, this mom was like, hey, there's an alien that goes to this kid's school. Can I have a bomb? A kid. How do I kill this kid alien? You all know I hate...
That wasn't the mom that was doing the kid. That was someone else talking. The mom was also trying to kill an alien. That wasn't necessarily the kid alien that she was trying to kill.
Yeah, with the kid in the background.
Yeah, there's a kid in the background. Mom. Oh, hang on, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later about killing a guy. So...
It just drives me nuts. Like... Anyway. Sorry.
So... The one thing I really liked in this episode, at least I felt like I really liked it, was the Kara mentoring.
Yes, her big speech. I love that.
I don't know, we have this new girl, which I forgot her name. I wanted to write it down, but I could never spell it. But she seems very Kara-like.
And she walked into the elevator, which was a complete, wasn't it, season 1?
That was like an episode 1 kind of thing, because she went into the elevator and stuff.
Kara's
she's always trying
in her suit and her glasses, and Kat was in there.
She always has a lot of, like, energy and stuff, and very quick and stuff. So, like, it's neat seeing, like, sure, like, okay, here's the young Kara kind of thing. But what I like more so is seeing, like, here's what Kara was, here's where Kara's at now. Mm-hmm. The difference between the four years of her doing this that we've seen. So, I like the comparisons, and I like the mentoring of it. And I'm interested to see, like, where that part of the story goes, because now it feels like, oh, now we have something for Kara to do. Where a lot of times it's like, oh, well, we need Supergirl. And Kara is a means for Supergirl to do stuff. This is something else for Kara to do. So I'm interested to see what happens with that.
Me too. I like that James made the comparison, the same comparison that I came to, is that she's turning into Kat. Like, she's getting her structure and everything. Like, Kat was Kara's role model for several years, and she is stepping into that. And I love that she can apply that to being Supergirl. Now that she's getting everything together, she's becoming more of a role model as Supergirl, and definitely more of a role model as Kara. So I love that so much. I love her character development. I like how they changed that. I would have probably preferred to see it grow, but I'm okay with it starting in the first episode of the season.
To see what grow?
Like her confidence grow, I guess.
Oh, I don't think her confidence has grown yet. They're just having that talk. She's like, yeah, I'll do it. So. Well,
more of the scatterbrainness has dwelled. I don't know how to say it nicely, but like she's a lot less scatterbrained than what she was last season.
You know about Kara as a whole, like her. Like, yeah. You don't feel like we've seen her grow over the seasons? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, we have seen her grown over the seasons, but if we look at the season finale of last season, she was still her little scatterbrain, concerned, like, maybe, I don't know, not very confident in her decisions. Versus this season, this episode, she seems very confident in what she's doing. She's making those decisions. She's owning herself. She's not looking to, like, John to tell her what to do. She's doing things herself. She has that confidence she's going through with her decisions. I would say last season,
like, she was fairly confident with the way she ended with things. I wouldn't say that she was like, I would say that she was like, I gotta do this, and this is what I have to do. But I feel like last season was very focused on what I was saying with, it was Supergirl. Kara helped Supergirl do stuff. But it was about Supergirl. Mm-hmm. Whereas now I feel like now we have Kara and Supergirl. And they're dealing with different issues, and we have something for each of them to work with and deal with. It's just going to be different where, like, now we'll see more of, like, here's the two worlds that she lives in versus, like, well, here's the world that she lives in, we're seeing that, and then sometimes Kara shows up and helps her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gotcha.
So I think that she had that confidence, especially, like, the way she had to work with Lena last season. She was very, like, not like, well, Lena, we should do stuff. It was very, like, this is what it is. There's no kryptonite. You got to do this.
But she let her anger get to her and took over her.
Yes, but anger still doesn't mean that she doesn't have the confidence. Like, she can be angry. If you had more
confidence, then you'd be able to argue your point more efficiently.
That doesn't mean anything. You can still have confidence while being angry. You know what I mean?
I guess I think of, like, look at Lillian. Like, she has all the confidence. She's always angry. But that vengefulness, she holds back and puts it towards her confidence and gets stuff done.
She's in fucking jail.
I know,
she ain't
but
doing shit.
that's how she was. But that's what I'm like comparing for like confidence and versus actual like
you can't,
anger.
Anger and confidence aren't opposites. You can have anger and confidence, I think. So.
All right, you're not done yet.
Yes, I am.
No.
Yep.
What about Supergirl in Russia?
What about her?
Causing the earthquake.
Yeah, no one cares. Well, we got her punching a rock. I don't have much to say about that.
I like how she saved the train that her doppelganger is causing the earthquake of.
Yeah.
And that's where she got the vodka to take to James.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't like, were you in Russia? It's like, yeah, Kaznia.
Yeah.
So whenever they went back to Russia. So it's not. We know that she landed up there around Russia. We're like, what are they doing? So now we're like, okay, well, they have her and she's practicing. Practicing for what? When's she gonna show up? Are we gonna have a Cold War? Like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
You know? So,
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't have too much to say about it. But yeah.
I really liked having Lena visiting her mom in jail, even though it was for other reasons.
I was gonna say it wasn't because she liked her. It was to be dirty.
I don't know. I think that yes, the Luther really came through on her.
Yeah.
But I think it took a lot of courage just to, go see her mom. And like they were playing chess, like how she used to as a child during like the flashbacks and stuff that we had with her. So I think that they were still having some bonding. And then Lillian was talking about changing. Do you think Lillian has changed?
No, I don't think that she's changed. And I was like, oh, well, this is good. I'm glad Lena's going to try to do this. And then it switched over. I'm like, oh, well, it meant nothing. That's how I literally felt whenever I watched it. It was that, like, it wasn't a matter of, like, oh, well, they're getting closer now. No, she's like, well, does your mom know? She's like, she'll find out.
Yeah.
She didn't care. She wasn't going to tell her, like, Mom, hey, I betrayed you. So it's not like she's grown with a relationship there. She was literally, I felt, using her to make sure the relationship she cared about tried to not get broken up.
So do you think that she won't go back to visit her?
If she needs something.
I don't know. I can see her coming back even like next week to visit her mom in jail just to say, yeah, Mom, that happened. And her mom say, shame on you. I'm proud of you.
If they did, I wouldn't say much, but it just, I don't know. I feel like anytime she goes to talk to her mom, it's because she needs something from her and not because she's like, well, we better mend our broken bridge. Even though that's what she said here. Oh, I wanted to mend our broken bridge.
Yeah. Bruno Mannheim.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know who Bruno Mannheim is either. I don't know if it's a name drop of a character that I should know. Or what. That's one thing, too, is like I don't know the Supergirl type stuff too well, nor the Superman stuff super well. Like, I mainly know the movies and what I've seen of like in the cartoons and stuff. Comic-wise, I never read any of the Superman comics or anything. So a lot of this stuff we're going in blind and trying to like... The thing I like about going blind into some of this is that whenever I see like Spider-Man, I have the lore of Spider-Man that I know.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm like the most recent Venom movie. I'm like, oh, here's the lore of Venom that I know. Because I like Spider-Man and Venom's one of the coolest like bad guys of that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, the more I separate myself from the lore, the more I can try to enjoy this movie. But when I go into something like Guardians of the Galaxy where I don't know any of the lore, I just enjoy that movie. And I have no idea if it matched up with like what comic books do, or if it was just something on its own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one thing here is at least now, watching like this and like TV shows I don't know what happened in the comics, I can try to judge it on what the show's showing me and what it's going for versus trying to be like, well, the comics did it like this. So there's names like when they did Bruno or whenever they showed the golden guy, and I'm like, I feel like I've seen that face before, but I don't know why. Like I like that. Like I don't necessarily know it. Now the Q&As may tell me some stuff.
Yeah.
They often do.
Yeah,
but,
they do.
but me staying like, at least somewhat blind to like the lore and stuff, but seeing some of the nods to comics I always like seeing. But I like trying to like judge the TV show on its own versus like knowing all the other lore and stuff too. So
yeah.
So I don't know. Bruno Mannheim may be something that's going to be recurring. It could be the golden guy. I'm not really sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, otherwise I don't know why they made the name so big in this episode.
I mean, it could have just been like, well, we need to drop some name. Well, here's a name that's from the comics to get James off from being indicted. but otherwise it's just a name drop, and it's not like a reoccurring character we're gonna have or anything.
Just a big enough name, a standout-ish enough name for us to remember whenever we saw it on the news.
That's also like Kara's assistant could be someone from the comics that I don't recognize the name, or it could be someone that they added in for the show. You know?
True.
I'm not quite sure.
They have that creative freedom, so.
Also, me and Melanie have not seen any of the trailers, I don't believe.
Nope.
Right? So I have no idea of what they're doing with this season. Some people may already know who the villain is and stuff like that, but we do not know any of it right now. This is the first year of going into like the CW stuff without any of the trailers or anything, just because we've been busy or it's been close to coming out, so we just was like, well, we're gonna watch it, so we won't do the trailer. So like everything, like Arrow, Flash, all that kind of stuff, like I don't know what's coming. It's cool. I have no idea who the villains are gonna be in Arrow this year. So it's neat.
That is kind of cool.
All right, guys, we have Q&As that we're gonna jump into. This is at BlindWaveProd, hashtag Supergirl Q&A, and we'll be going through here and looking at some questions and thoughts that you guys have, and we'll talk about those. Lover of Sashimi says, how long was it before Blindwave became in sync with each other, or did you guys immediately become in sync with each other? Well...
they're working on it.
Yeah, there's still times that we're not in sync with each other, but we got together back in like 2008. Like most of us, like we finally all met up in 2008, and doing like lightsaber fights and stuff. We kind of learned working with each other and how each other kind of works and whatnot, and everyone's brought something to the table, so it's kind of clicked fairly quickly. But there's still some things that are like, well, we need to work on that. So, Your Scary Neighborhood Tyler or something like that says, how do you feel about Nia Nal? Which I believe is the reporter's assistant, the new reporter, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I like her because there's a lot of comparisons between her and Kara. Well, first Kara. And just seeing that and having Kara see herself act like that just makes her, realize how much she has grown personally. So I like that. I like how they're throwing her in.
Yeah, I love the mentor state. I don't know how I feel about her, like herself as of right now, but the relationship I like a lot. Hooray Humble Baller Boy says, who do you think the mysterious mask guy is? I don't know. I'm not sure if it's anyone from the comics. If my first thought was whenever they name dropped the Bruno guy, that maybe that was going to be some kind of reoccurring villain or something that was going to show up as like a story beat, but I'm not sure if it was just a one-off name drop kind of thing, and then they got, okay, here's a name, okay, here's the name, and we're done with it. That way they took care of James, but I don't know. It's possible that behind that golden mask is someone we know.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Like, I think it's...
And what if that was Win?
No.
Like a bunch of suits and gadgets and stuff, and they're just like, hey, Win's leaving the show, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, he's a bad guy.
No.
Gotcha.
Not even funny.
I feel like that'd be great. I feel like that'd be great, though.
Not in the least bit, Aaron.
Jeffrey says, do you play chess? I have, not for a long time. I used to be in chess club.
Oh, yeah? I used to be in euchre club. My brother and I used to play a lot. We had my youngest brother, playing by the age of 3. Oh. And he was teaching my mom how to play.
At 3?
Yeah. He was really young.
All right. Pepsi Queen says, what would you do or what have you done to impress your coworkers or team members on the first day of the job?
Dress nicely. Took a shower. I have done that before.
You've taken a shower before? Yay. Andrew says, good start to his season, setting up new characters and giving us some good insights. How do you guys feel about Jean fighting a new non-violent way to... how do you feel about John finding a new non-violent way to help aliens? And do you feel we may not see Manhunter for a while? That was my worry. I felt like last season was the most we had seen of Martian Manhunter, just with the way the story went and all the times we needed him to help fight Rain and these other like 2, super villains. Remember them? The Pestilence and Rain and Blight or whatever it was. So I'm worried we won't see Manhunter. I like the way the character is going because of, like, there's the motivations of the father, right? Jean's father and why he's doing it. So I like that versus him just doing, you know?
And I do like the fact that he's in the alien support group. He's hanging out with all the aliens. He's out there in the everyday life learning how they live and is actually very hands-on with this. So he is able to see their perspective better. And I do love that for his, you know, whole peace act. So, like, the fact that he understands is great. And he can be the little advocate for them against Kara. Kara and her hope.
It was frustrating, like, Kara, like, he's like, I think this could be a hate thing. She's like, no. I'm like, well, I can see it was a heist. I can get it if it wasn't a hate thing. I think it was a hate thing. Yeah. It could be connected to your other thing because the support group meets here and he's in that support group. No. I'm like, just don't eliminate the possibility. No, it can't be. I'm like, well, come on. Just...
At the same time, I can understand because she's so optimistic. Like, she doesn't want to see the world in that way.
Yeah, I guess, but you can be optimistic, but you can't be blind. I don't know. Horror Master says, do you think we can trust Lena Luthor? I already said mine. Did you say what you thought of Lena Luthor? Do you think we can trust her? Is she turning over a new leaf? Is she being rehabilitated?
I don't know. I mean, I think she's doing what she thinks is right, which is very Luthor-ish. We can trust her as much as we can trust a Luthor.
Okay.
The best of the best Luthors, which would be her.
So we can't. Nathan. Here, Melanie, what do you think of this? If the president is an alien, do you think that her presidency is unconstitutional? Since the Constitution states the president has to be a natural-born citizen, and I doubt that she would have been born in the U.S.
Yes, and she will probably be impeached. And that's going to start next episode.
It's possible that she could have been born in the U.S. because her family came from another planet and landed here a long time ago.
True.
It could be possible.
And lost the birth certificate somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, she was actually born in Hawaii. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how their rules are set over in Supergirl Earth. I think it's Earth 18. I forget. But yeah, if it's the typical thing, that may be a point that people try to point out. So, Dr. Winchester says, do you think Neonal is an alien wearing an image inducer?
That'd be kind of cool.
An alien reporter being mentored by an alien reporter, but Kat knew, so she sent an alien reporter to the other alien reporters. Like, this would be a perfect match. I don't know if that necessarily is so much, like, that seems a lot of coincidence, but I love that Kat was like, you should go with Kara.
Yes.
You know, like, she's like, you're perfect for Kara.
You're perfect. Yeah, I don't know.
Magnus says, when do you think the other Kara will come into play? Is she the villain for this season, or is it the other dude?
I don't think the other dude is going to be the villain for the season. I think we might see him taken down next episode or the episode after.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see him... Like, I see the hate crimes withstanding for a long time, but I don't know if this masked dude's going to stay around.
I think that it'd be, at the very least, what it could be is we have this over, like, half the season, with this other Supergirl kind of peppered in, and then she takes over for the last half of the season.
I can see
where
that.
it builds into her. And then you have kind of two story arcs building amongst each other, which I like that idea, because, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will do that a lot, where, like, they'll have 3 arcs over one whole season, and they're all done so well, and they kind of weave within each other and back and forth.
Yeah.
So I think CW should take some pages out of that. It's real good.
Yeah. But I definitely see the other Kara being the main villain, like our big villain.
Curiosity Kitty says, off to a really great start, but still a lot of Kryptonian pride. Who do you agree with more, Jean or Kara? We gotta go with Jean, I feel like.
Yeah, because he's actually there living with the people and understands and empathizes with them.
And he knows what it's like to look like a human, but also to look like not a human.
Yeah, that's
Whereas
true.
Kara just looks like a human. When she said about, like, I'm an alien, everyone loves me. I'm like, yeah, but you look just like a human. And if people didn't know you were an alien,
to.
They would just think you're a superpowered human.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, how long did she pass as a human growing up as a kid?
And how long has Kara ever been called out to be an alien? You know, no one knows. No one says that Kara's an alien.
That's true.
Everyone says Supergirl's an alien.
So Curiosity Kitty writes, how does this premiere rank against the previous seasons? I'm immediately hyped for this season. Because that's exactly what I said. I love this premiere.
I think it was really good. I mean, I didn't have any issues with it that I can think of right off the bat. Like, I'm not like, man, I hated this. Like, I think that it seeded in some, like, society issues and stuff that she may be dealing with. It seeded in some villain stuff that she may be dealing with. And it also gave us a good feel of, like, where each of our characters are. And it didn't... Sometimes it feels like... There was a show, I can't remember what it was, that we started watching the first season. Maybe it was... I don't know what it was. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, whenever we first started watching, it felt like we just got dropped in the middle of the season a bit. Like, it felt a little weird.
Oh, Ben 10?
No, not Ben 10. I'm talking about here.
Oh.
Like, it might have been Flash. I can't remember what it was. But it felt a little weird. This didn't. It felt like, okay, here's where we are and what's going on, and we're good.
And I felt like nothing was forced in this episode. Like, no forced relationships, no forced, like, throwing things in your face to say, hey, this is going to be coming up. Everything just felt natural and smooth, and I loved it. I love this. I agree with Kitty. I'm just hyped. Sorry. Might be the coffee, too.
I Heart Chicken with Soup says, have you ever been blind to discrimination / racism, or at least witness or know someone who has been blind to discrimination or racism?
Go ahead, Aaron. Go ahead, Aaron.
Melanie is ignorantly racist, is what I call her. She does things all the time where I'm like, Melanie, you know, I don't think she realizes what she's saying. My favorite one was when we were at a water park. Actually, we were at the zoo, which had like a little roller coaster area and a water park and all this stuff, and it was closing down, so we were leaving the ride section. And when we were leaving the ride section, all the people from the water park were leaving too. So everyone was like leaving out one way. And we live in Ohio, and there's a lot of white people here. And she sees this cute little African-American boy in a swimming suit walking by himself. Just by himself, like just kind of over there by himself. And Melanie just looks around and goes, where's the one that matches? And me and her mom walked away and left it.
He was walking with this young, like, 16-year-old couple, like, with them. And then he decided to look around. And he's like, nope, that's not my family. So it was like, oh, that little boy is missing his family.
He was missing his family. With the way she worded it, I'm like, Melanie.
Yeah. Anyway, but
she says things like that all the time. So that's my time of being blind.
And everyone's Morgan Freeman.
As far as like any kind of like serious like racism and stuff like that, like not that I can think of right offhand. I mean, the thing too is like we live in Marietta, Ohio, where there's.
I can think of one that you experienced.
Really?
Yeah, when I brought you to church. The one time I got you to go to church. And we had that Native American missionary speaker.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah.
And he was telling about how his mission was almost pointless and worthless because the Native Americans were just lazy and they would just come to sleep and like all these horrible things. Like I'm like, you're supposed to be a Christian and teaching good things. Like, what's going on? I brought Aaron here to church today because he's part Native American. I'm like, I wanted him to be excited. And he's never gone back.
Yeah, I don't typically go to church anyway, and that's true. We did go. She took me to that, and it was a guy who was teaching like Christian beliefs to Native American culture, and his speech was very like I'm kind of like I don't know,
discriminatory.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna play on my phone. Even the normal like preacher came over to me and apologized later on too.
Yeah, we're not asking him back, unfortunately, but. Back to my ignorant racist stuff. You have to realize my best friend growing up, I didn't know that she was.
I don't think you're allowed to say this kind of stuff.
What do you mean?
You can't just be like, I'm ignorantly racist, but my best friend growing up was black.
No. No, I didn't. I was saying that I didn't even know that she was, like, her family came directly from India.
You know what's okay.
Sahar, yeah.
This was a long time ago.
No, I'm talking about whenever I was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
My best friend was Indian, and, like, I didn't even know. Like, I knew that her grandmother was, like, a different religion. So I was just, like, blinded, I guess. I don't know, because, you know, she was my best friend, and then Lucinda was my other best friend. She's, like, 50% Native American.
You're blinded by what?
So, like, I don't know. I was just used to, like, hanging out with people definitely darker than me because I was
Everyone's darker than
white.
you. Except for Calvin.
But, like, I don't know. I think that's one reason why I'm always kind of ignorant when it comes to it, because then Alice and her family were my best friends forever. You can check out Alice in, like, Supergirl season 1.
I think she was in the first episode.
Yep, season 1, episode 1. But she, like, just growing up with her family, like, they'd always pick on me for, you know, like, being white, and, like, there has to be some African in you because you're so curvy. Like, where's your bloodline? Where's your lineage? So I think that's what kind of makes me blinded, not realize what I'm saying is bad.
The thing,
because I'm
too,
so
is-
used to it.
I mean, there's always that everywhere. Elements of, like, racism and discrimination. Sometimes it's more of a mean-spirited nature versus, like I've seen comedians that go into, like, racist jokes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, whenever they, like, pick on everybody equally kind of thing and make it funny versus when it's being mean-spirited and pointed towards people because of hate.
Yeah.
Is the difference of it. So, like, I mean, it's the same with, I would compare it to, like, us with the Blind Wave group, where we all have our own quirks, and you make fun of people because of a quirk that Calvin has, or a quirk that I have, or, you know what I mean? And it's being pointed towards that individual. But typically it's more lighthearted versus being, like, a hate nature. And then when it comes into a matter of, like, oh, well, what ethnicity are you? Then if it starts becoming hate, that there's a fine line there of, like, when things happen and you're like, you can laugh it off, and then when it goes too far and, like, that's not appropriate, and now there's problems with it, you know what I mean? So,
But I can think of one story that Alice would probably like me to share. Whenever Alice worked retail, she still works retail, but again, we live in Marietta, a very ignorant town, and mostly white Caucasians walking around in retail. She'd always have difficulties because either the people would make comments, shouldn't you be cleaning the floor? Shouldn't you be out doing something? Or the fact that they just tell her, no, I'm going to wait until the other cashier comes to check me out because I cannot have a woman of color checking me out. Like, she had it once at Radio Shack, and the lady left and came back whenever you guys were working. But she was just kind of used to it by this point, so it's frustrating. I can see where a lot of that could come in effect.
Yeah.
Like all these... Anyway, sorry.
yeah. I mean, people gotta remember that everyone's just people. You know? It's not about, like...
2 legs, 2 arms, communication.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, it's a little different with aliens because it could be 4 arms or a couple extra legs or something like that. But it's just...
all have a brain.
They're all individuals, and people should just be treated as individuals rather than, like, well, you're different. So, along the same idea, Chicken Noodle Soup says, have you guys, or how would you guys talk about racism that your kids will witness or hear about in the future? Especially now, anything you say about that subject or any subject really can be offensive or sensitive to talk about now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing, too. Like, at least, like, Alice in that situation, like, it's not a situation she should be in, but at least she's not too, like, it's not like it hits, I don't know how hard it hits her. But usually she's one that it rolls off.
Yeah, it does.
Because, like, she's been like that since I've known her back in high school. Where, like, she's like, I don't care what people think, you know?
Yeah,
like,
she's
that's how
always
she's
been.
been. So, I mean, there's that sensitivity thing where, like, sometimes people are too sensitive. for like something that's like, well, that's not what was meant by this, you know?
Yeah.
And then other times, like, some people are very insensitive and say way too much about something that they shouldn't be saying anything about, you know what I mean?
Very true.
So.
But with it affecting our kids, like, I remember when Alice lived with us and Leon came home and asked why one of the boys on his bus had dark skin. And he got to talk with Alice about it. So I like the fact that...
Wasn't there something about, like, well, Bubby, Alice has dark skin. And he was like, she does?
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, that is what happened. He asked me what it was. He's like, there's this little boy that has dark skin on the bus. I'm like, well, Bubby, everyone has different color skin. Think about Aunt Allie. Aunt Allie has dark colored skin. What? But then Alice and Leon got to talk about it, so I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's... Usually, I think with our kids, we usually try to talk straight up with them about most things.
Oh, yeah.
Just to try to, like, have that conversation and get them ready for, like, the real world, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They got to be kind of prepared. So, all right. And we'll have one more here with Dip PG, which says, with all the hidden alien stuff, if one person in the Blind Wave crew was an alien, who would it be?
Shane.
And how would you react to finding...
I would not be surprised.
I don't know. Any of them could be. Any of them could be. Calvin's very weird. Eric could be a Slithurian.
Does he fart a lot?
No, we can't. We gotta do a poll. We can do a poll. Rick's very weird too. I don't know.
You couldn't be?
No, not me. I'm too normal.
Too many human kids.
That's the thing. I'm not quirky enough on Blind Wave. I'm more of the normal guy, I feel like, sometimes.
Well, then that's more likely for you to be the alien.
And then, like, Calvin's very odd. Rick's interesting. You know, like... Rick's an interesting one. Shane's greasy. Alright guys, I think that's it for our Q&As. If you guys want to enter into Q&As next episode, make sure as you're watching or after you finish watching, go to our Twitter and do @BlindWaveProd, #Supergirl Q&A. The letters Q&A. And we'll talk about those at the end of every episode. Anyone can do it. You don't have to be a patron, don't have to be anything. You just put them on Twitter. But for our patrons, we are going to have our poll for this week. Alright guys, so for this poll, for this episode, the episode I felt like was pretty strong for the first season, or for the first episode of the season. One thing that we were wanting to talk about and see what you guys thought is, does the episode, or this season so far, which is one episode, feel like it's missing Wynn? Because we lost him last season and he shouldn't be back this season that I know of. I think he's gone for the show, but maybe he'll special guest or something like that. But did it feel like it's missing Wynn, or did you feel like it's rolling well having
Brainy
and having Wynn leave? So,
Agent Docs.
Yeah. So we'll have those. We'll talk about it. Let us know in the comments on Patreon what you guys think, and we will talk about that in the next episode. Thank you guys.
Bye.
And if you want to find that poll, make sure you go to patreon.com/blindwave. The poll is there.
So many polls.
For everyone on Patreon, thank you. And make sure you subscribe, because we have Supergirl and Arrow and Flash and Legends and Black Lightning, and the other guys are also taking care of The Walking Dead, Star Wars Resistance. There's so many live shows, plus our regular weekly coverage. Subscribe. Don't miss any of it.